Hello traders, Doc here. In this video, we will review some of my previous VIP trades. As we can see here, this is CAD JPY and this is 15-minute time frame. What we can see here is that price consolidated here. So basically, we don't have good opportunities to trade. Price had formed this very strong bearish move, but before that, it formed this supply zone. Soon after, we can say that price went back to test this supply zone. So basically, if you check the charts here and then again here, the price is actually the same. We can see that bulls lost the power here and price tested this supply zone. At this moment we want to wait and see what will happen. As we can see, bears took the control and pushed the price down again. So we have bearish reaction to this supply zone. Then we can see that bulls tried to push the price up, but they failed. They actually formed a new lower high. So once I spotted that, I wanted to wait for a bearish confirmation. And then price formed this very strong bearish candlestick and I decided to enter. We can see that that was not perfect entry because price formed this strong bullish move, but luckily we got these two bearish weak rejections and price continued to go down. I decided to put stop loss above these previous candlesticks and also to aim for this previous major low. I didn't want to aim for this low here because that was not a good risk-reward ratio, but it was also a good decision. There is nothing wrong to put your take profit here. So as we can see here, this trade worked very nice and we ended in profit. We can also mention this bearish trend line here that connected these previous lower highs. So basically this was a third touch that confirmed this bearish trend line. Again, we have this very strong bearish reaction and I decided to enter. After that, we can see that price actually formed this higher highs and higher low structure and easily broke our trend line here. After that, we can see that price basically formed this support zone. So if you look closely, you will see multiple very strong bullish candlesticks here, 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 and also here. We also have these higher highs and higher lows, so it's very easy to tell that we have uptrend here. So once price formed this support zone, I decided to enter. Here we can see that price is not very clean. We can see these strong bullish and bearish candlesticks, and usually you want to avoid behavior like this. But because we have this very strong uptrend, this support zone, I decided to enter and follow the trend. So if you look here, we will actually see that that was a good decision. Price continued to go up and my idea was good. But unfortunately, my entry level was bad. Now, why is this entry level bad? So basically, we can say that price formed this resistance zone here. And I decided to buy at resistance zone, which is not a good idea. So this is definitely too late to enter. My second mistake is this stop loss placement. I should have placed my stop loss below this support zone, but I placed it at this support zone, so price stopped me out for just few pips and then continued to go up. So this is very unfortunate, but it happens. And my third mistake is the fact that I didn't move stop loss to break even. Price continued to go up and form this strong bullish move. So at this moment everything looks good and I'm supposed to move stop loss to break even and protect this trade from a potential reversal. I didn't do that and unfortunately price reversed very quickly and stopped me out here. In trading, sometimes even if you have good idea, you can lose. Unfortunately, that is the reality of trading and we have to deal with it. You try to learn from your mistakes and hopefully to avoid them in the future. With this trade, I basically made three mistakes. First one is that I decided to buy at the resistance zone. Second one is that I didn't move my stop loss to break even. And the third one is that I didn't put my stop loss below this support zone. After that, we can see that price continued to go up as I expected. And here at this moment, I decided to enter a new buy trade. So why I decided to buy here? Basically, as I said, we have uptrend and we also have this very strong bullish impulsive move. This means that buyers desperately want to buy this product. Actually, they want to buy Canadian dollar against Japanese yen. So when all these big players want to buy it, you want to buy it too and simply follow the trend. Now the real problem is the fact that traders jump into trades sometimes. They see this very strong bullish candlestick and they want to enter and buy and buy and buy. But this usually results in a loss. What you want to do instead is to wait for the price to calm down and to form a very slow pullback to give you a better price so you can enter and follow this trend. This is very important when impulsive move occurs. You don't want to catch it here or here. You actually want to wait for a pullback, retest of some previous key level and then to enter. Now that is exactly what happened here. We can see this very strong move. Of course, I didn't want to buy here, I wanted to wait. We can see that price formed this bearish pullback. It started with a very strong bearish candlestick, but then bears quickly lost the power. Basically, price calmed down here and retested this previous resistance level. If you look at the volume indicator, we will see that volume is going down. And that is exactly what you want to see when it comes to pullbacks. You want your pullback to be very slow, with a low volume and then to enter and catch this previous trend. This also applies in a downtrend. So basically when price is going down, you want to see a very slow bullish pullback. Ideally, you want to see a retest of some previous key level and then you want to enter. So price formed this very slow bearish pullback, volume is going down, we have retest of this previous resistance level, and also we have all this uptrend here. So what you want to do is to follow this trend and to buy. I decided to enter a buy trade, put my stop loss below this resistance level. In this case it was a support, so I wanted to put it below this support and aim for a good risk reward ratio. As you can see, very strong bullish move occurred and price easily hit my take profit. So this was a very good trade, and this is very important trade to illustrate how pullbacks work and how you should trade them. And of course this will not occur very often, but when it happens it is usually a very good opportunity to trade. So another key thing here is that you don't want to buy after a very impulsive move or to sell after a very impulsive bearish move. So usually price will form a pullback and you want to wait and see how this pullback will occur. Will it be very strong or very weak? And depending on that information, you want to enter a sell trade and catch this bearish move, or you just want to wait and avoid to trade it. It also applies in an uptrend. After impulsive move, you don't want to just buy here, you want to wait for a pullback, and based on this information here, you want to decide, do you want to catch this trend or you want to avoid. Now this is British pound Canadian dollar. I didn't take this trade, but I shared this analysis in my VIP group. As we can see, we have this bearish move. Then again, bullish pressure occurred, but just to test this previous high. And after that, we can see this very impulsive bearish move. As I mentioned before, you don't want to sell here and try to catch this very strong move because usually pullback will occur. That is exactly what happened here. And as we can see, this pullback was very weak. It's not strong as this previous bearish move. So price is not moving up like this or like this. It is actually very weak, as we can see here. Then what we have here is a bearish engulfing candlestick formation and also test of this previous key level. So what we have here is a support zone. So price tested this previous support with a bearish engulfing candlestick formation, formed very weak bullish pullback, and also we have stochastic RSI sell indication. So this was a great place to enter a sell trade, put stop loss above this previous candlestick and aim for a very good risk reward ratio. Unfortunately, I missed this trade, but that is okay because you cannot catch every single good trade. This is also British pound Canadian dollar, but 15-minute time frame. This is the trade that I took here and it was perfect trade. So here basically we have consolidation. Nothing much is happening here, but we can see that bulls try to push the price up, but they failed to break this previous high, which is a sign of a bearish pressure. And as we can see here, this very strong bearish move occurred to break this previous support zone. So now we know that bulls failed to push the price above this previous high and that bearish reaction was very strong that even broke this previous support. Again, it is very risky to enter here because it is usually too late and we want to see a pullback. Now this pullback was not very weak, but I noticed that price formed this very strong bearish candlestick as a reaction to this previous support zone. So we have a reaction to this key level here, and also we have stochastic RSI sell indication. So all I wanted to do is to catch this bearish momentum. Luckily for me, price continued to go down and form this very strong bearish move. So basically what we have here is simple break and retest. Now again we have British pound Canadian dollar trade here, and let's review it. So as we can see here, we have this uptrend. Price formed this bullish move, retested this previous high, and then formed this very strong bullish impulsive move. So at this moment, it is very reasonable to make a decision to buy, but as I said, you don't want to buy it here because it's too late. You want to wait for a pullback. Pullback occurred, and then again we have these very slow moves. Look at this very strong impulsive move, and then look at these very weak and slow bearish moves. As I said before, ideally you want to wait for a price to retest previous key level. In this case, price retested this resistance level, formed strong bullish candlestick. We also have stochastic RSI buy indication, so at this moment it was a very good opportunity to enter a buy trade. I decided to put my stop loss below this candlestick here and to aim for this previous high. We can actually see that price formed this very strong bullish move and that this take profit placement was not great because price continued to go up, but anyway we made a profit, so it was a good trade. Also in this case we can see that volume is going down. So this is basically a perfect example. Now why is this perfect example? First we have uptrend, then we have strong bullish impulsive move. After that we can see slow bearish pullback. We have retest of this previous key zone. In this case it was resistance. We have bullish candlestick as a reaction. We have stochastic RSI buy indication, and we have volume that is going down. So this was a very good entry level and this was amazing trade. Now why I say that it's very important to wait for a pullback? Well, for example, look at this here. We have another very strong bullish candlestick. So we can say, okay, we want to buy. But then we can see that price formed this strong bearish candlestick and then again this massive bearish candlestick. So yes, price is retesting this previous high, but we have this very strong bearish candlestick and you don't want to buy after this. That's why you want your pullback to be very slow, not strong and impulsive like this here. So of course I didn't want to buy here and follow this trend. It looks very nice to buy and follow the trend, but it's not very smart decision because of this very strong bearish impulsive candlestick. So hopefully with this example you can understand why this pullback is much better than this pullback here, and why you want to trade this one instead of this one. Now this is British pound Australian dollar. This is 1 hour time frame. I didn't take this trade, but I want to show you again how this works. Here price formed a reaction to this support zone and went up with this very strong bullish candlestick. Then it struggled to break this previous resistance, but it actually broke it with another very strong bullish candlestick. So at this moment you can say, okay, now I want to buy, but I want to wait for a good opportunity. I want to wait for a pullback, retest of this previous key level, in this case it was a resistance, and then to enter a buy trade. So what we can see here is that price struggled to move up, then it formed this strong bearish candlestick, but bears quickly lost the power here, and price actually retested this previous resistance. We have very low volume here, and we have stochastic RSI buy indication. Also, we have this new lower high formation. So at this moment it was reasonable to look to buy, but we can see that this very strong bullish candlestick occurred. So it's not very easy to catch this very strong move. You want to wait for a bullish candlestick, but this was a very strong bullish candlestick here. Anyway, this was a good place to enter a buy trade, put a stop loss below this support zone, and aim for a good risk-reward ratio. It's realistic to say that you missed this trade, but what happens next is also very similar. So price formed this impulsive move, then we have this minor pullback, volume is weakening, price is retesting this previous resistance, and then we have this bullish reaction. So this was second good opportunity to enter here. You can put stop loss below these candlesticks and again aim for a good risk reward, or you can aim for this previous high, which will also provide you with a very good risk reward. So this was another very good opportunity to catch this trend after impulsive move and slow pullback. As you can see, this strategy is very effective, but of course it will not work 100% of the time. Nothing is perfect in forex trading, and this strategy is also not perfect. We can take this example here. Basically, we again have this strong bullish move, price then formed this very slow pullback, retested this previous high, formed this nice bullish candlestick reaction. We have low volume here, we have stochastic RSI buy signal. You can enter here now, it seems like a very good entry level, but we can see that bulls quickly lost the power and nothing happened here. Price started to consolidate here and then eventually it went down. So if you decided to put your take profit here at this previous high and stop loss here, we can say that price eventually went down to hit your stop loss here. So again, this strategy, like any other, is not perfect. And as a final example, I have this New Zealand dollar Japanese yen trade 1 hour time frame. So here we have this very strong bullish move. We can connect these lower highs with this bullish trend line and price eventually broke it here. Bulls failed to push the price up and price actually formed a new lower high. After that we can see very impulsive bearish candlestick. This candlestick broke this support zone here, and after a move like this we want to wait for a pullback. And of course we want that pullback to be slow. So at this moment we can see that bulls tried to push the price up, but they failed to break this previous support, which means that these bears here are very strong and they want to defend this level. We can see that price formed this weak rejection here, bulls again try to push the price up, nothing happened, and then again this very strong bearish candlestick. If you look at the volume, we will see that it's going down and we have this slow bullish pullback. On a 15-minute time frame, it's easier to see that price formed this wedge pattern here, and I decided to enter after a breakout. Price broke this wedge pattern, I decided to enter, and as we can see, price went down to easily hit my take profit. Of course, I decided to put my stop loss above this previous resistance zone and to aim for a good risk-reward ratio. It was a better choice to aim for this previous demand zone, but anyway, this was a good trade and it ended in profit. So again, what we have here is an impulsive move, slow pullback, low volume, and retest of previous key level. Hopefully, this video will help you to better understand this very important topic, and if you find it useful, please like and subscribe so I can continue to make more. For complete forex education, I have ebook, and I also have VIP group for daily signals and analysis. You will find Telegram link in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, traders, and stay healthy.